Hi friends, in this video I'm going to show you how to do something called foundation single crochets. Basically what you're doing with a foundation single crochet is working your chains and your first row at the same time. It eliminates making chains and then working your first row into those chains. And it's great if you need your crochet project to be a specific width or length, whichever way you want to think of it. So maybe your pattern is asking for a 12-inch square or 12-inch width. If you do foundation rows, whatever length you make the foundation row, it's going to stay that length. You may know that when you work your chains and then do your first row into the chains, there's some shrinkage. I think you lose like 2 stitches for every 10 stitches. So if you made your chains 12 inches and then you work your first row, you might not have 12 inches anymore. So foundation rows in general are great if you need your work to stay a specific length. It also has really good stretch too, which I always appreciate. I like my work to be stretchy. Okay, this video is kind of like confident beginner intermediate. I'm assuming you already know crochet terms. So if you don't, you can watch, I have a beginner friendly videos. It'll go over all of those, all of the stitches. But let's jump right in. Otherwise, I'm using a 6mm hook and some bulky yarn. You can practice with whatever yarn you've got as long as your hook corresponds to the yarn. And let's get a slip knot on our hook. Whatever method of making a slip knot you use, go ahead and put a slip knot on your hook. And for foundation single crochets, we're going to start with 2 chains. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Feel free to pause if I'm moving too quickly, but like I said, it's confident beginner. So we're moving a little bit quicker. Okay, so for step 1, we're going to send our hook into our first chain, the one sitting right above our slip knot. We're gonna split the V, and please note that I'm right-handed, so the direction I'm going and like which side of the V I'm picking up is for right-handed folks. If I remember, I'll try to say left-handed directions too. So we're gonna be sending our hook into the first chain, and for right-handed folks, we're picking up the left bar of the chain. For right-hand, hang on, I messed up. For right-handed folks, we're picking up the left bar. For left-handed folks, you'll pick up the right bar as usual, but you also need to pick up the back bump, this little booty sticking out here. So we're going into the V, picking up the left or the right bar if you're left-handed, and you can use kind of your middle finger, your pincher finger, to sort of help that back bump onto your hook. And it should look like we've picked up 2 bars, but they count as 1. That rule is the same for when we single crochet. When we're just crocheting along, you always go under the V and you pick up 2 bars, but they count as 1. Okay, so we've gone into our first chain and we have the back bump on our hook. We're going to yarn over and come out of the first chain, yarn over and pull up a loop. And you want to keep this yarn over a little looser than you normally would, which is just good rule in general when you're doing chains. Keep the yarn over pull throughs a little looser. Here's where it gets interesting. If it's not already, you're going to make a chain. So you're going to yarn over and pull through 1, just 1. Now we have 2 loops again on our hook, and we're going to do a single crochet. Yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so basically what we've done is create a chain, which is sitting here, this bar and this bar. The chain is on the left for right-handed folks, and we've made a single crochet, a little V sitting on the top. What we're going to do next is what we're going to repeat until we reach the length that we want. So looking at for right-handed folks, the left side of our work, we have this long bar here, and there's a bit of a space to go under it. That's where we're going to send our hook, but we also need to pick up, again, this back bar just to the left of my pointer finger, this back bar. So you can use your middle finger, your pincher finger, to sort of help that on. Careful that you don't pick up anything extra too. There's a lot of stuff going on underneath. So we're just picking up 2 bars. So again, it looks like we've gone under a V for stitching. We're going to yarn over and pull a loop through, come out of that chain, keep that yarn over loose. We're going to create a chain, yarn over, pull through one, and then make a single crochet, yarn over, pull through two. So again, we've made a single crochet on the top, sitting right under our hook, and on the bottom, we've made a chain, that bar and that bar. Let's do some more. So let's find where our hook is going to go. For single crochet, there really, I mean, depending on what size yarn you're using, there really shouldn't be too much space between where your hook is sitting and where your hook is going to go. But we're usually looking for like this longer bar. So our hook's going under that, and get that back bump too. You can use your middle finger to help it on. We're going to yarn over and come out of the chain. Keep that yarn over loose. Yarn over, pull through, make a chain, pull through one, and then yarn over, pull through two, make a single crochet. So when our hook is going into this space here, we're basically going into the chain that we created in the previous foundation single crochet. So we're going under this long bar and we're catching that back bump. Yarn over, come out of the chain, keep it loose. Yarn over, pull through one, make a chain. Yarn over, pull through two, make a single crochet. And they're building on top of each other. So you've got single crochets on the top of your work, and on the bottom, some lovely chains. And that's really nice too, right? When you're doing foundation single crochet, when you're doing foundation anything, it creates a really lovely finished edge with nice V's, because that's what we always want to look for. Let's do a few more. So we're going under this long bar and picking up the back bump. Yarn over, come out of the chain, keep it loose, make a chain, pull through one, single crochet, pull through two. Make another one under the long bar, picking up. This is probably the hardest part, making sure that you're just getting these two bars, because there's a lot of other stuff. Like sometimes you could pick up this one by accident, which is just sitting there right underneath everything. All right, yarn over, come out of the chain, keep it loose, make a chain, pull through one, make a single crochet, pull through two. And to count your stitches, you know, you can count your V's sitting on top. Sorry, I was getting out of frame there, which, you know, we're probably all comfortable with. But you can also count the V's on the bottom. Now, take note that this bump here, you can't feel it, but I can. That's my slip knot, so don't count that. But if you can feel a knot between your fingers, that's not a stitch, it's a slip knot. But we're starting here at this first proper looking V. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 so far. And then I'll pause here for now, but let's say you crocheted foundation stitches for the length you need or want. Then you would just start row 2. You would chain 1 if you're doing single crochets or whatever your pattern is calling for, and you turn your work. So I'm just gonna, for the sake of education, we'll just chain 1 and we'll turn our work. And this rule is the same. We're still working into that first V. It's sitting right below our chain 1 that we skip. So you can kind of think of it as going into the second V, going under the second V. There's a nice big space for your hook to get into. So we'll just do maybe a couple of single crochets going across. So this is row 2. We've eliminated the chains and we'll work across. There's only 6 stitches. And you know, whatever tension you usually have, you can go back to it. We were keeping some yarn overs a little bit looser, but you don't have to do that anymore. And then you're at the end, right? That's not a stitch. That's a bump from our first single crochet. Actually, you know what? I think it is the chain that we skipped. Remember we did 2 chains at the beginning and we skipped 1 and worked into the first one. So that's the chain from there. And then we can double check that we still have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Huzzah. So feel free to rewind and rewatch anything you need to. I also have videos on how to do foundation double crochet and foundation half double crochet. They're really great tools to have in your crochet toolkit. Happy making!